Alright, take 5. This is my couch-top review discussion of this. This is my newish Beretta 1301 Gen 3. I've heard it called a Gen 3, I've heard it called a Gen 2. It's got a single-piece magazine too. Tactical shotgun. This is going to be a long video. In this video, I'm going to disassemble this gun and we'll put it back together. I'm going to show you how I set mine up. I'm going to talk about things I like about this gun, which is most of it, and things I don't like about this gun, which is anything that's not Beretta. So, that being said, if you want the too long didn't watch version of this video, if you're thinking about buying this gun, then go right ahead. If you want to stick around for a few minutes, then I'm going to show off some of what this gun offers. Alright, let's get into it because this is going to be longer than I want it to be. Safety, guns unloaded, I'm home alone, I live in the woods. Anywhere I point this thing other than myself is a safe direction, and I'm not going to be handling any ammo today. So, that out of the way, let's get started with what I like, with the things that I like about this gun, which I'm going to start off with the things that they changed. First thing they changed is, over my Gen 1, is this gun now takes choke tubes. So that's really, really nice. I can change out my choke tube from the cylinder bore, which I use for buckshot and slugs, to my full choke for birdshot. I like to play pigeons in the backyard with this. I like it. I know it's a tight pattern, but it makes you be a little more accurate. I like to practice with this because it more accurately represents the kind of pattern that you'll see with buckshot. It throws a tighter birdshot pattern, makes you aim a little bit more. It's better training, I think, for using the gun with buckshot. Also like that this one, which is not the choke that comes with the gun. This one runs this extended knurl section, so I can look at the gun and tell immediately if I've got my training choke or I've got my cylinder bore choke in. My gun was supposed to come with a cylinder and a modified. I'm going around looking at things. I was actually trying to see if they had a full. Somehow I wound up with 2 cylinders. It's not really a big deal. I pretty much shoot either cylinder or full choke. If I want a modified, I'll get it. So, she has choke tubes. That's why I like my choke tubes. This piece up here, your pick rail that's up on this top. This was polymer on the Gen 1. It's aluminum on the Gen 2. So, I like that. That's just a nice solid place to put a red dot if you're going to put one. If you're going to keep this rail, or even a slug scope, whatever. I like aluminum. I like aluminum rails. It's an aluminum receiver. I like aluminum rails. Wasn't too worried about the polymer rail, but for a sighting system, this is nice and secure. 3, and probably the biggest change, is this has the improved bolt release. Previously, you could push down on this and cause a really nasty double feed. You can't do that, or push back on this and cause a really nasty double feed. You can't do that now. You would have to use a tool and try so hard that it would be almost completely unheard of to accidentally lock up your magazine. So that's really nice. Plus it's metal with polymer overlay instead of a polymer piece. I kind of like that. Let that action open. So that's the changes to this gun. Also, this one has a single piece magazine tube. I'm going to get to that in a second when I disassemble it. I know that there for a while they were shipping them with 2-piece, so you have the 5-shot mag and then an extension. So moving on, this one has the Mesa Tactical pistol grip stock. This is an okay stock. I like the length of pull. I like the way the gun seats. I like the way that it feels. I don't like the Mesa Tactical stock. it's like they didn't finish developing it, and I'll go through that in a minute. So it comes with this little polymer sling swivel holder, and it's got a little piece of M-lock. I'll show that. I've got a piece of M-lock off my carbine here, and I dropped it. And I picked it back up. Oh, my back. Spinal fusions suck, boys and girls. So do spinal fractures. If you wanted to, you could mount a little piece of M-lock right there. It absolutely is a piece of M-lock. I think it's probably there for a sling swivel. I don't know, you Magpul guys, if they make a little piece that's got a little rail, because that'd be a nice place to mount a flashlight if they do, if you're going to use your little barrel magazine clamp. I don't for this reason. I don't want to have to use a tool to disassemble my shotgun, but that's not really a huge deal because I don't clean this thing that often. So with that being said, let's start disassembling it. Oh, I guess I should go through the things I like and don't like about the gun. So I don't like that the barrel clamp has to use a tool to take it apart. I'm sure that that's the only way to make this work, but I can't imagine there can't be some kind of lever mechanism to clamp one of these on and not have to use tools, because this thing is fully assembled except for the trigger guard, unless I use a pretty small tool to take this thing down. As far as the shotgun goes, she's super light. I didn't weigh it, but it's under 7 pounds empty. Everything about the gun is great. It shoots great, it points great. I really like the sights. This does have polymer rear sights, ghost ring with, it's rifle sights. It's very nice, very easy to pick up and put right on target. I like everything about the gun, honestly. The lightweight, I like how solid. This feels like a really flimsy piece of plastic when it's by itself, but on the gun, it feels pretty damn solid. It's really grippy. It's got really good serrations. It's real slick. It's real light. It's got little tabs that lock it in, so it's not slapping like a Mossberg. Like, it's not just held up here. It's on there. I had a Mossberg 930, and this piece was just floating back here, and it made me really, really angry. And this is really locked in. It feels really good. Anything else you put up here is going to add weight. I don't really know why you would buy one of the lightest tactical shotguns in the world to then make it a heavy tactical shotgun. But I digress. Yeah, she's excellent. Things I don't like about the Mesa Tactical is real quick, real easy, real simple. I don't like that. This thing just kind of flops around. Now I'm sure I can glue it on there and make it where it doesn't, but it just looks and feels cheap and tacky and just not really a great piece of kit when it's on the gun. It's got like these wings that flap out, and that's every one of these Mesa Tactical crips that I've used. It can twist a little bit. I've got it really torqued down. The Beretta has kind of a cutout square back here. The Beretta stock has a tab that goes here, 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 and here. They have 4 tabs. It's really kind of a square so that it can't turn. Like that Beretta, the factory Beretta stock, and I'd have one off my old shotgun here, is very locked in, and I like that. I can't speak to the Magpul with the Eritis Industries or the GGG extensions. I don't know. I'm probably going to give it a try, but I mean, you paid $1,400 for this thing in today's money, so I don't really want to have to put a bunch of shit on it to make it functional. I never had a problem with the Magpul, or not Magpul, with the Beretta buttstock. That's probably what I'm going back to, and that's probably how this is going to live its life. So yeah, it's a Beretta 1301. If you're looking at this video, you're probably looking at these and you probably know most of that. So let's get into the fun part. Let's disassemble this bitch. First thing you got to do, and this is why I don't like this barrel clamp, is find a tool and unscrew this, unscrew this, and drop your shotgun against your chest because you're fiddling with little bullshit. Take that off. It's lightweight, like it weighs next to nothing. It feels like it'd be really secure. It's all polymer, and that's what I think of that thing. So now I've got my shotgun where I can actually toollessly disassemble it. So starting from the muzzle. You hear those clicks? This is your muzzle cap. It's got metal up here that threads into the end of this, and it's just a piece of polymer that comes down. Very lightweight. The gun is very lightweight, but this is the 21st century, guys. Polymer and aluminum are the thing. So that comes off. As you can see right now, the recoil spring is captive. There's a little piece of metal up front there that engages with these teeth on the back of this thing, and that's what you hear clicking. So that kind of holds this thing in place. I've never had a problem with this backing off. 4N, super light. You can see it's got these, maybe see, if I get the light right, you can see that it's got these tabs in the back that allow it to lock into a recess in the receiver, pick it up without falling apart into the receiver here. So this thing doesn't really move around at all when it's on the gun. It feels super light and flimsy, but again, it's light. It's durable, it's not gonna break. It's just a light little piece of polymer that does what it's supposed to do. Into the meat of the shotgun, you've got your gas system, your bolt, and action bars, and all that's all one piece. Barrel. So the barrel, you just pick it up. You've got your gas piston in here. Take that out. Is really a super complicated mechanical operation. You just pop it out. Can't go in backwards. There's, come up here close. There's just like one ring that runs around it. There's not any gas keys you got to worry about not lining up. There's just one ring. It's supposed to be self-cleaning, which it's self-cleaning enough to be functional. It's super filthy, and I'll clean it one day. I'm trying to get to a few thousand rounds before I clean it. I've got maybe like 600 rounds to this gun right now. Little front piece for the 1301. I believe this is the only thing that separates this barrel from an A400, but don't quote me on that. It's got a little extension here for the magazine tube and 4N to engage with. Other than that, you got a nice little barrel, gas system's all included, receiver extensions all there. The machining on this thing is really nice. The coatings are really nice. Yeah, that's your barrel. Just throw that to the side. Kind of grab this, let it go forward. Press your piece into line. This is always the most fiddly part about taking this gun apart. It's just, I just press it down to pull your, excuse me. I can duck walk, I can squat, I can do all that, but God, bending sucks. Like, I can't really bend. You've got your little bolt handle just pops out. It's on a little key. It's polymer, but it's polymer and metal. It's lightweight. It does its job. And then grab your bolt. And out comes the bolt. Now, I'm not taking it down any farther than that as far as the bolt. You clean all your stuff, Spring stays retained. Steel action bars welded in, really high quality welds. Anybody who's taken a welding class can look at this and tell that this is a really nice piece of welding. Just the machining is excellent. The coatings are excellent. This thing's all, you know, it all holds itself together. There's nothing that goes flying off. Your action spring is captive, but if you were to want to take it out, so I want to talk about this right now. With mine, I can get 6 shots in with this little thing, with this little captive thing, depending on the ammo. Some shells are shorter, I can get 7 of those. Some I can't get 7 into the tube. Now, I could ghost load it, I could whatever, but I don't get 7 into the tube. So if I wanted to take this little extension out, you just press down on this piece here, and fiddly thing. It's like a 3-handed operation, but to me, I only do it once. Oh, I'm not throwing this one across, because if I ever hunt with this or do anything where I have to restrict the magazine capacity, I need it to put the tube in. It's so much easier with a flathead. I don't know why, but I can just dig in and push it forward with a flathead. I'm gonna say I'm gonna take it out. Does it matter to me enough to go get a flathead? I might just pop it out off camera, but I kind of don't want to, because I'm kind of, sort of, I've already fiddled with it enough now. Sorry, I thought I'd be able to just pop it with just this thing. Did this the other day to practice for this, and it took like 2 seconds. Be right back. All right, so here we go again. Damn it, boy. I've got that thing in there. There it goes. Watch this action spring go flying across the room. See how much easier flathead is for that? Now, take this thing, be careful because your action spring's under tension. Just a little piece of plastic. Use a flathead screwdriver, it's not hard to get out. Set it to the side because I don't use it. So I don't use it. With that thing out, I can load 7 rounds of anything 2 3/4 inch into the tube, and I like that. It's not hard to put it back together, plus I can pull my action spring to clean out my magazine tube if I want to. Nice coated metal round follower, magazine follower, whatever the hell thing's called. Next up is I need to mark which side does this. Also, this is something that I don't like about the Mesa Tactical stock. I have modified mine by cutting, where my thumb is, by cutting a little piece off. That allows me to take this little pin out and take the, I don't know if it's all the way down. I think it's all the tension off. Bap. If you go one way, it's easier than the other because of the way it's held in. Pull one pin out, here's your trigger assembly. trigger assembly is polymer. All of the bearing surfaces, though, are metal on metal, and it's slick, it's nice. It's got this one little captive pin on this side, so you want to remember that when you're taking it apart and when you're putting it back together. That's your trigger assembly. So, this is a shotgun completely field stripped. I'm not going to clean it. Yeah, that's how hard it is to take a Beretta 1301 apart, minus the fiddly with this. So now we're going to do the hard part, which is put one back together, and you're going to see how hard it's not. You got to cut this piece off if you've got a Mesa Tactical, or you're taking your buttstock off to take your trigger assembly out. Another reason, like, I don't know why Beretta put this on their gun, and I don't know why Mesa didn't further develop this stock. Like, this is kind of garbage for what you're getting here, for what you're working with. You know, this is a pretty expensive shotgun to be having to dick with. There you go. So you want to release your magazine, your lifter all the way down. Lets this hole line up a lot easier, and that's all she wrote. Put this piece back in. You just take your bolt, kind of work it through. Bolt handle assembly. Pull it down, locks to the rear. Barrel, make sure your piston is in your barrel. And you just, some of the stuff you just don't want to force it. Just make sure it all lines up. Snap that back down. And as you see, this is I've talked about the single piece. I think I talked about the single piece magazine too. I like it. Fore end. So with the fore end, be a little careful. Like, don't just slam this thing down. It's got an end cap here that will pop out. It's not a big deal if it does, or just an O-ring and stuff, but it is a bit fiddly to get it back together. So you just kind of want to make sure your end cap is coming over. There we go, and boom, she's all locked in place. Yeet your magazine follower onto the floor, bend down and kill your back. Magazine follower, make sure it's going, the right way. Drop that down. Magazine spring. Throw that in. I'm not going to put this back in because I don't typically use it. And here I'm going to talk about how I put a light on mine. I got this little GG&G light extension, or light mount. Hey, I don't know, I didn't see it on your website, GG&G, but if you could make this with a sling swivel, or not sling swivel, like a sling loop on the bottom, that'd be really great, because I would really like to run a loop sling with this setup. I personally think this thing's kind of backwards. I would have bent the whatchamacallit, the little piece of pick rail forward and had it go forward of the handle, but it works. And it works pretty well. I've just got a little mag light on it. I could definitely use with a light upgrade. The things I like about this GG&G are it's really simple and easy, and it's got this little ball bearing right here so that when I screw down my piece of fore end, which having that long piece here makes getting that spring lined up really, really easy. Hear that clicking? And I just click it down, not super tight. I've never had it back off. I don't think I've ever had it rotate. And that is how I have mine set up. So I cut off this little nub right here so I can take my trigger assembly out, and I mounted my flashlight with this little GG&G mount. Works. It's light. You can be tactical dumb. be tacky stupid. I don't like strobe lights personally. I don't think they do anything for you. But that is the reassembly of the Beretta 1301. Take it, make sure your chamber is empty, point it in a safe direction, pop your safety off, function check, wrap it, release, clicks, function check. Lock her open. That's my Beretta 1301 Gen whatever, Gen 3. And then for practice, I just take my handy dandy included choke tube tool, slip it down in here. Always hand start your chokes, guys. This is a barrel for this thing's like $600, and I don't want to have to pay that. So always hand start your choke tube. You don't want to cross thread this. Take your choke tube, that was my cylinder bore, take my full choke, spin it all the way down by hand. Of course, if you're doing this, make sure, I would just always lock the action open. Look in it, make sure there's no shells, keep the action locked open, because you are working in front of the muzzle of the gun. And then that is in full choke configuration, which I practice, and I keep it like this because we got birds, and that means we get predators, and sometimes I have to go out and run predators off. I've run a few foxes and raccoons off with this thing. I don't like killing just to kill, and I had one fox that was got one of my ducks, and I had to kill him. And this worked great with some Federal number 5 2 3/4 inch game load. I had plenty of exit wounds at 20 to 25-ish yards when I reconstructed the chute because I'm a nerd and I was bored and I did that. Retirement's weird, guys. I did my 20 and I had to hang it up. I didn't want to, just had to. I used up my body. But that's a tale for another day. That's my Beretta 1301. That's how you take it apart, that's how you put it together. What else can I say about this thing? Mesa Tactical buttstock. If you were wanting to put a red dot or a scope or whatever on this thing, not disparaging that, you can. Let me do that on camera. So you take your Mesa Tactical buttstock, you reach back here, you press this tab that's in the back, that comes off. Don't be fooled by these stupid screws. I don't know what they do, but they don't hold the buttstock in place. And then this thing slides back and just pops off. Now it's got 5 channels that you can adjust. So if you were to want to run, say, a slightly higher cheek piece, you could find the ones that are going to work for you, fiddle with it because it's not a well-engineered piece of equipment. Sorry, Mesa, you need to do better, especially with this. Like, I don't. You're Beretta's choice because you're really the only ones out there. Nobody makes stuff for the 1301, which is, God, I wish the aftermarket would support this gun. Click your thing back on. Now you've got an elevated cheek piece for looking through an optic, but you can't really, I mean, I can get my eyes down there, but you're not really going to be able to optimally use your iron sights. It's feature. And that's all I'm going to say about it is, yep, it's something that this buttstock can do. Guys, I don't even know that I consider red dots on a shotgun to be a necessary thing. I mean, I can shoot this thing pretty damn fast. So, yeah, that's it. You can put, I mean, whatever, nothing else to say. I've put about 600 rounds so far, which is nothing. I probably put 4,000 rounds through my Gen 1 and never had a malfunction. I'm running this thing, I'm trying to get up to about 2,000 rounds-ish through this thing without cleaning, just adding lubrication here and there, and see how well it holds up. So far it's done great. I mean, you can see some of my videos of my Gen 1 if you're interested. So I don't think I'll ever get rid of this. I think I'll have this for the rest of my life. I think it'll be my go-to shotgun for the rest of my life. As long as the 12 gauge exists, I think this is going to be relevant. Like, this is an absolutely excellent shotgun. My understanding is the longevity's there. It works. It's soft shooting. It's lightweight. It's very fast cycling. Like, I've never ever had an issue with the gun outrunning the gun. And if you are outrunning the gun, you're not doing anything that's practical. So, yeah, it's excellent. I like the Beretta furniture better. I really wish the aftermarket would come in and give us some nice, you know, buffer tube style stocks. Me personally, I wish Beretta would make their own adapter to put the Bernoulli stock on it, which, so you can change your length of pull the way the Bernoulli does. I think that would be awesome. I would settle for if somebody would make, you know, maybe an aluminum piece that goes in and interfaces with the back of this receiver properly, and we could have, you know, on an angle, there's a stock for like this for the Mossbergs that you could have your AR-15 grip and maybe have an angle for your length of pull. Mesa Tactical makes the police stock. I have it. It gives you a much more vertical pistol grip. Butt stock comes straight out the back. It looks very practical, feels very comfortable. It is not winning a beauty contest anywhere. So that's my thoughts. It's been a long video already. So that's my 1301. That's how you take a 1301 apart and put it back together. I like this GG&G light mount a lot. And that's that. I'm gonna go out in the backyard and shoot the shit out of this thing now. It's gonna be a cool video. I got a friend of mine found a bag of shells in her closet, and she didn't even own a gun, so she was like, hey, do you have anything that can shoot this? And I said, sure. And it's like low brass bird load, slugs, number 4 buck. I have no idea what condition they're in. I don't even know if all of them will fire, but we're gonna put all of that through this gun in one take here in about an hour. And my prediction is if the ammunition works, this gun's gonna cycle it fine. So yeah, it's a real like closet find of shells. So whatever fantasy you want to put in with that, go for it. And that video will be being made in just a few minutes.